Hi, my name is Brooke Anderson, and today I will be presenting my thesis work on the impact of replacing soybean meal with corn DDGs and crystalline amino acids on performance and carcass characteristics of growing and finishing pigs. So a brief introduction, we know that feed cost can be as much as 70% of total production cost, and using alternative protein sources such as corn DDGs is one way to decrease these feed costs. However, DDGs have been shown to have various impacts on growth performance and carcass quality. Additionally, any health benefits provided by isoflavones and antioxidants in soybean meal would be reduced when DDGs and crystalline amino acids are supplemented in to replace soybean meal in the diet. So the objective of my thesis was to test the effects of soybean meal replacement with DDGs and crystalline amino acids on growth performance and carcass quality. We hypothesized that performance will decrease when DDGs and crystalline amino acids are supplemented in place of soybean meal. So I have two experiments to get through for you today. First is our grower experiment. Here we had two phases, and then we calculated all of our growth performance measures of average daily gain, average daily feed intake, and gain to feed on a pin basis for phase 1, 2, and overall. And then we measured some carcass characteristics of loin eye area and back fat, and the immune response in haptoglobin and CRP found in serum at the end of the trial. And then all of these pigs were placed on a controlled diet, and then they were reallotted to a different dietary treatment, and we started our finisher experiment. Here we fed phase 1 for 21 days, and then phase 2 was fed up until slaughter. Our growth performance measures were calculated the same, and then in addition to loin eye area and back fat, we also had carcass yield data from the processing plant as well. So I mentioned we have a 2x4 factorial design for our dietary treatments. We have soybean meal or DDGs. DDGs were included at 25% for the grower study and 20% for the finisher study. And then we had 4 levels of supplemental lysine HCl, 0.2, 0.4, and 0.6%. We balanced our diets for SID lysine and net energy. So this is the overall results from our grower study. We did have a significant interaction in diet by lysine for average daily gain as well as average daily feed intake. These kind of follow the same trend, is that our soybean meal had a higher average daily gain and average daily intake compared to pigs fed DDGs. When we supplement in lysine HCl, we start to see that performance decrease in our soybean meal fed pigs. But for the pigs fed DDGs, it starts to help recover some of that performance loss up until 0.4% lysine HCl is added. And when we hit that 0.6% supplemental lysine, that performance really starts to decrease. And then our grams of gain per kilogram of feed, or gain to feed ratio, we didn't have that same significant interaction, but we did have significant main effects for lysine HCl and diet, and those follow that same pattern. Our soybean meal fed pigs had a higher and more efficient gain to feed ratio than the pigs fed DDGs. And when we supplement in lysine HCl, we saw a decrease in feed efficiency. Loin eye areas were also smaller for pigs fed DDGs than soybean meal. And when we supplement in lysine HCl, our loin eye area decreases for the pigs fed the soybean meal, but we did see it increase in DDGs up until 0.4, and then that 0.6% lysine decreases that loin eye area. We had no difference in back fat or CRP or haptoglobin. Our finisher results, we had a significant lysine interaction for average daily gain. As we increase lysine HCl, we start to see a decrease in performance. We had a significant diet by lysine HCl for our average daily feed intake. And then our gain to feed ratio here, again, had a significant lysine HCl interaction, where as we increase lysine HCl, we start to see a decrease in feed efficiency. Again, we saw no difference in back fat. However, loin-eye area quadratically increased as lysine was added, and then that 0.6% lysine HCl decreased that loin-eye area size. Our carcass yield was higher for pigs fed soybean meal than DDGs. We had a higher level of haptoglobin for pigs fed soybean meal, and then our CRP tended to be higher for pigs fed DDGs. Overall, feeding corn DDGs decreased growth performance in the early grower stages and overall compared to a corn soybean meal diet. Supplementing 0.2 or 0.4% crystalline lysine to the DDGs diets appears to help recover some of this performance loss. However, when we supplement it into the soybean meal diets, it linearly decreases performance, and it also decreased performance in the 0.6% lysine HCl DDGs diets. So a special thank you to United Soybean Board for funding this experiment, and I am happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.